All right. So speaking of expectations and disappointments, now we have to talk about Serenity, which
Right.
is not the Joss Whedon film, which was based
Well,
off of
I
the
mean,
great,
I still really
great
care.
Firefly.
I
Go
still
on,
really care to
proceed.
talk about it, you know, because I saw it when it came out.
Oh, you did?
Um, yeah, then I just like no word to talk about because there's so much nonsense. And like I get why it exists. I get why a script like this might be made. You know, if this movie came out like 10 years ago, I'd have probably like it for being the clever way it was. But yeah, it's one of those like real lazy bullshit scripts that it get away with bullshit. It's one of those. So I didn't worry to talk about it.
All right. Well, as you say that this feels like something that was written like 10 years ago, that actually probably is true, you know what I mean? 'Cause it really does feel like that. Not just in terms of the, sorry, not just in terms of the genre that they're making reference to, well, neo-noir, but just the aesthetic. Everything about it just feels like some shit
Right.
from the 2000s now, you know what I mean? Well, and in the case of Matthew McConaughey, stuff that would have been before the, what do you call it, the
Reconnaissance.
reconnaissance. Yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where,
No, no, yeah. When the film is all said and done, I kind of put this on par with something like Sahara, one of those bullshit films, or it is Fool's Gold,
oh
you
my God,
know,
Fool's
damn
Gold.
bullshit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like the script is like
Wow, I forget that movie exists, yeah, right? That's why I'm laughing.
it's a real gimmicky script, like seriously gimmicky script that could have been in the right hands could have been potentially brilliant, but not like how they do it here. Like, oh wow, well, it is like this happening though.
Yeah, boy. But the reason why I wanted to see it is because how people were kind of calling this so bad it's good, right?
Right,
And
that's
in
what
my
it
head,
is. Yeah.
like afterwards, I see it, I was like, it could be it could be but when I see that cast, boy, when I see Matthew McConaughey, and Anne Hathaway, Jimon Honsu,
Right,
friggin'
right.
Jason Clark, poor Jason Clark. I'll talk about him in a bit. Poor Diane Lane, when I
Yeah.
see these people involved, I don't know, boy. I just like here's the thing, right? When it comes to so bad good movies, like I see if it was with people that I don't know,
Yeah.
like are not like
Right.
not big actors, like say let's use the room for example, right? From 2003. The only person you know is Tommy Wiseau and I guess Greg
Well, the
Sisotero
thing
or
is, the
Sistero.
thing is,
But they really know
this
him basically
are the
off of the book, the Disaster Artist, just
right.
because of the moments that he had with Tony with Tommy on screen. So these are the two people that you know now, but they're not like big time celebrities. And when you watch it, you're like, oh gosh, man, I just feeling so sorry for you. Cause that was how I felt seeing this talented cast, but like, oh gosh, but really,
Yeah, no, well, we had another film this weekend that came out. That was Triple Frontier. Um, with another big cast, but the film wasn't bad. Like that's how you're supposed to handle a big cast in a small film. Um,
yeah,
but with this, it really feel like you had a quote unquote talented, kind of a talented director. Because the film is shot in interesting ways, eh? But because the script is so much nonsense, you couldn't really take this premise seriously. You get the feeling that right, they signed onto this project. It feel kind of clever, but it look like one of those films where they lime all the time. It's one of those movies,
yeah.
and then they try to excuse it. Oh well, we just trying to do this like this tropical thing and tropical script, and then that is about it. So I have almost no patience for stuff like this because of so much because I just feel like you're just trolling everybody involved and just wasting everybody fucking time, and it just come across like a scam more than anything, frankly.
Yeah, it really does feel as if like the cast were given one script or the pitch of a script, and then when they
Right.
went in like last minute before they even start shooting, they just change stuff up, and the director slash writer, in this case Stephen Knight, come and say, trust me, the twist for this, because it's shock all this twist so
Right.
smart, but I can't
Yeah.
spoil it for
Yeah.
all they, you know what I mean? All they have to
Yeah.
see it when it happens, you know what I mean? And then when it happens, like, too little, too late. You know what I mean? Because you're already deep in the show. They had to kind of wrap up production, and when you see the final product, it's like, oh, that was the twist. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Ricardo, you think we should spoil this movie, right?
Well, at this point, yeah, and I don't really care. I mean, it's one of those spoilers, fuck you kind of thing. I don't really care enough about the movie to, you know, say, oh, we need to, I dare you walk into this blind. I don't really care because it's real
Yeah,
nonsense.
It is, but it is. So yes, folks, we're gonna spoil this movie right about now. You've been warned. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Right. So the story is about a fishing boat captain, right? His name is Baker Dill, right? Who is played by Matthew McConaughey, Oscar winner Matthew McConaughey, right? Take note of that. Um, he lives on this island called Plymouth Island, right? Some Caribbean island. They never really established where it is,
But
right?
no, that's your point. It's not. It's a whole like hodgepodge of like because of the twist. Everything is a hodgepodge of things now.
I
And
know. Yeah. So
so
honestly, me going into this film, I was like, all right, so what island is this? I'm not too sure. Maybe
right,
that's not the point. It's supposed to be a fictional island. Okay, moving on, right? And then one thing that really bugged me was there's this DJ who was talking like every time they put on the radio, and he just talk in this real weird kind of way, like, good morning, Plymouth Island. Where the seas are, where the sun is always
yeah,
shining. You know what I mean? He just talks this kind of weird kind of way. Like, dog, DJs don't talk like that, shit. You know what I mean?
right,
Like, I'm
right,
not expecting Robin Williams, good morning, Vietnam, but still, what? Something off there. Right, cool. But it just came off as clumsy and awkward and just, oh, this is weird. I should take note of that, right? But anyway, so he making a living catching fish. He have this kind of Moby Dick complex going on where you have to catch some tuna, um, some tuna fish called he calls it justice, right? It's like this one tuna fish
right.
that
Get a
is
catch a fish there. Yeah.
feeding him, and like me going in, like when I saw that once again, because well, I looked at the trailer and I was getting that whole kind of 90s sort of schlocky,
Yeah. You
sexy,
are.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, sex noir films basically that was big like in the early
You
90s, right?
know.
Yeah, so I was getting that kind of vibe now. So when you come and tell me, oh, we have this fisherman who trying to hunt down a tuna fish, I like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Where's the noir? What going on here? So yes, they have this subplot with him banging this old chick who is played by poor Diane Lane, who by the way looks really, really, really attractive for her age, right? And
Yeah. Yeah.
basically he just kind of hoed himself out because
Right. Gotta
yeah,
make money.
well, if you're making no cash,
Right.
selling fish and whatnot, well, you bang the chick, right? So that's what it is. So while I was checking about watch wonder when the noir shit gonna happen, because yes, I am a huge fan of noir, the genre of noir, and even neo noir as well. I love that
Yeah.
genre. So yes, it starts to get all noirish now when Anne Hathaway's
And,
character, her name is Karen, shows up, and typical noir stuff. The white dress, the big hat and whatnot. The
yeah.
kind of seductive look at him, and we learn that she is his ex-wife, and basically she comes in for help because she's on vacation with her sleazy, despicable asshole of a husband named Frank, who is played by Jason Clarke. And speaking of Frank, so talk about neo noir for a bit, right? It's a TLC. When I saw his character, I was thinking of, in my opinion, one of the most detestable characters that ever graced film. This would be
Yeah.
Frank Booth, if you remember Blue Velvet, David
Right. Right.
Lynch's
Right. Right.
an
Yeah.
86 classic, right? So Dennis Hopper, rest in peace, his character, to me, like, I really enjoy the show, but he's just that one character where I just genuinely hate because he is just such a scumbag, but everything he talks, it's always some kind of expletive. There's even a line where he says, "Let's fucking fuck." Swear to God, that's what he says, right? So like I don't know, like the director tell Jason, here's what I want you to play Frank, but I want you to Frank Booth, sorry, but I want you to play him in this way. So yeah,
Yeah.
boy, everything the man says, have a fuck at it, right? And he just like they just setting him up, sorry, to be like the biggest asshole ever in the world, and like to the
Right.
point that yes, it's a TLC, you're supposed to hate on him, right? So of course, if you've seen stuff like Double Indemnity, which is a classic
Yeah.
noir film, you need to see that. Yes, the idea is okay, we're gonna get my husband drunk, we're gonna throw him over, well in this case, um uh Baker's boat, and yeah, he's dead because there's sharks in the water, and I'm gonna pay you X amount of money, and then we could run off together, and we could reunite with your son, right? And pretty much that's the plan. And while helping him out basically is Jaimon Honso, who plays Duke. He's like the man Friday basically
Right.
to Baker basically.
Yeah.
And they try to use this. They try to add this subplot with him trying to get money for his. I think it's either his daughter or his granddaughter or something. I think it's his daughter. Trying to get money for she to go to school because classes started back, and that
Yeah.
subplot goes nowhere, absolutely nowhere. It's just a reason for him to come back and help him out,
All
right?
right.
That's it.
So you
Now
see
we
where you
get
see
into
it?
the spoiler
You see when
territory.
something goes nowhere? You see that
Right?
way you say there? You see that whole goes nowhere thing? It's still justified by the twist, kind of. You'll see.
Okay, yeah. What do you think about it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So right. So basically, so the twist happens roughly in the second half of the film, right? So
Yeah.
in between, so periodically in the first half, we see this weird guy wearing a suit. He have glasses on. His name is Reed, right? He's played by Jeremy Strong, and you're like
Yeah.
trying to catch Bacon. Every time he
Yeah.
come into, every time you try to get your attention, you're always leaving on the boat now. So it's like Baker,
Yes.
wait. So one stormy night, he shows up and tells him, well, here's a tracker, there's a fish tracker. You could use this to hunt the elusive tuna fish. It's like, all right, cool. This is where you
Yeah.
come in the night, in the rain to sell me. Okay, cool. All right, but what are you really here for? Because he realized something off with him, right? And then he dropped that big twist down. Now, before I get to the twist, right? Upon me watching this film, I saw on IMDb they tend to particularly IMDb, right? They tend to tack on each and every single genre that a film is associated with, right? I see
Right.
a slap on sci-fi now. So
Right.
I like, okay, so expecting something sci-fi to happen there.
Right.
Something that's going on. Maybe it had to do with the storm. Maybe it has something to do with time or something, so because there's this thing going on where Matthew would kind of see the vision of his son, who they
Right.
establish as being he has is I don't know if he isn't autistic, but apparently he's special and he's so smart. But what he does,
Right.
he kind of coops up all the in his room, on his computer, playing this fishing
Sorry,
game,
Justin.
while his stepfather is being a dick to his mother and beating her up and all
Right.
that kind of stuff. But yeah, so in there I was wondering, okay, so he's seeing through his son's eyes, okay. So it have some kind of thing going on. So I thinking, all right, so it's a time thing, like a time paradox going on. And
Right.
then the man then dropped the twist by. And what the twist is that everything that going on this island, the whole scenario about him reuniting with his ex-wife and having to getting paid to do this job to kill to kill Jason Clarke's character. All this is part of a game,
Yeah.
not just any game, a virtual reality game that Baker's son designed on his own computer.
Yeah.
And even worse, Matthew McConaughey, his character,
Yeah. The
actually
real game.
died.
I love right. Yeah.
He died. So
Thing, right?
he now
Yes.
learns this now. It's like, oh well, we're now part of this game now. So this is like this
Let
virtual
me tell you
reality
something.
simulation that we
Yeah.
have to play out
As
because
I say,
it's part of a game.
as I say, it's not that you tell a story, but it's how you tell it. The thing is, you have so many Twilight Zone episodes, that a couple of episodes that did this well. These ideas of, well, you're in a simulation all along, and so on. So all that's fine.
But
But
as I
it's
say
how
that,
you.
but look at where they just put the twist at the very end of the story. You
Well,
put
not
this twist
necessarily. I
in the
mean,
middle of
you
the
can still
movie,
play. No.
and
You can still play with a early twist. You can still
all right,
play with a early twist. I don't. That is not like a big deal breaker necessarily. But again, it's not that you tell a story, but it's how you tell it. And
correct, yeah,
when you reveal, you can tell that they did not think of this twist at all
no,
going forward.
no.
Because
From the
usually,
way how they dropped that twist, though, it was like,
right,
dog, what kind of sloppy
right.
writing is
No,
this?
here's a movie. Here's a movie I'm gonna compare this to. A movie that I thought they reveal the big reveal twist relatively like within the second act, however it is. And when they reveal, it changes the context of the story, but it improves the context of the story in almost every way. And it is a technique. It was a movie that I didn't know was a sci-fi, and then I learned it was a sci-fi. Here's the name of the movie: The Prestige.
Ah,
Right?
great movie from my boy Christopher Nolan. Yes.
Right. Prestige is a movie that you thought, oh, it just is this kind of thriller and it's about magicians and so on. So,
Yeah,
and then
magicians
they
fighting
introduce,
over Scarlett
right,
Johansson, and you realize
right,
it's
and
more to it than
a
that.
petty shit going on, right? Then you realize this is an insane science fiction premise set up in this context. And that scales up the situation really well and also puts everything in a better context because of what one character was capable of doing.
Right. And as you mentioned, that what I love too is that from the very beginning, when Michael Caine says, there's three aspects to,
Right.
a trick, I mean, the tell and all that kind of stuff. It's repeated at the very end. So, like, when you recap the film, it's like, oh, that's it.
Right.
Okay. Right.
And it expands on the two characters in terms of what they was doing. So, one was a sloppy magician and the other was a very careful, conscientious musician. And then when, the big reveal in that movie came about, well, you still had it again. You had one was a sloppy magician and one was a conscientious musician. This movie doesn't even come close to addressing its central premise properly. Because, so you're familiar with the Tommy Westfall theory. You know what that is?
The what, sorry?
Tommy Westfall. You know who Tommy Westfall is?
No.
Okay, so Dwayne McDuffie, famous comic book writer, rest in peace, man is a boss.
Yes.
He put forward this idea called the Tommy Westfall universe theory. And what it was, it came from an old TV show called Saint Elsewhere.
Oh, are you talking about the infamous series finale, right? Yes, I know about that finale, yes.
This is the same bullshit.
Yeah,
it
is. Like,
same bullshit.
Like I never watched an episode of Saint Elsewhere, and I know Denzel Washington was a star in the show, but that's not enough reason to watch it. But imagine sitting through what essentially is a soap opera for all these years, and then realizing that everything that you saw over all these seasons was in the head of this autistic kid.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's how you end it.
That's how you end
it. Nah, man.
No, here's the thing.
Like, I imagine shit like Lost had better, like Lost ending is greater, but by far is a much better ending than that.
Let me clear. I hate the ending to Lost, and Lost is thousands of times better than this bullshit. Like, this not fucking close to that nonsense.
Lost could have a way better ending, in my opinion, but
that's what this movie does. Yeah, this movie does. Again, this is why this movie just feel like a fucking scam, right? Because it does the thing where it's technically writing, but it does what I call Procrustean logic, and meaning that it's both sound and valid logic, but still something very wrong with the central approach and execution of the film. So let me explain what Procrustean logic is. It's like when you do something that is logically fine, but it still fails in its central execution of what you want in a film, because you need a proper payoff and execution in terms of your storytelling, right?
Right.
So give an example. What is the fastest way to lose 8 pounds? Right? It's a kind of a joke, right? The answer is a guillotine. That's the joke.
Oh, yeah, I know that joke, yeah.
Right. The whole point is that obviously you're technically right and correct by saying that is the fastest way to lose 8 pounds, but obviously it's not the workable context of what you mean when you say it's the time to lose 8 pounds. And that is what this film is doing. It's doing that bullshit. Right? And then acting as if, well, it's the same. 8 pounds is 8 pounds. And it's just this complete fuck you to the audience. That's how it's feeling.
Yeah.
And nothing about it clever, nothing about it cute. Stop it, get some help, Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
That's how it feels. That's how this movie is feeling. And if it take the premise and run with it and have a proper execution to what it wants to do, it would work. As I said, you say that things might have improved if that was the ending. Maybe, not sure. But because it decided to do this stuff in the middle and didn't run with it in any way, and you're sitting down and it's like, wait, so what the fuck? So they're just going to continue with this as if it's nonsense? And then the actual ending is like this flat nonsense ending. And like, wow.
Yeah. And then they're supposed to, how the characters treat is just like, well, yeah, now we know. So one day, we'll see each other again. Well, that's with McConaughey's character with his son. They're like, yes, I'm not going to see you again. Woo! But here's the thing, right? Here's the huge slap to my face, right?
Yeah.
The neo-noir approach in the first half. Now I get it. I'll get it, right? I get from Stephen Knight's perspective. He kind of wanted to throw the audience off balance. But
it's like naked.
Yeah, but when you drop the twist now you're telling me that this kid probably watched one too many neo-noir films, probably watched Blue Velvet, Double Indemnity one too many times, and decide here's what, this is my scenario. Fisherman do this, ex-wife come and
Right,
all that kind of stuff. But it's in the head of this little kid, and the whole
right.
point of it, before I forget, well, this another spoiler, is that yeah, the man eventually goes and kills his dad. Like pulls out a knife, leaves his room, and stabs his dad. We don't see it. It happens
Again,
off screen, but it's
again,
all like this thematic setup because of what going on with
right.
Match McConaughey
Because he's trying to
character.
psych himself up to do this. Now,
So what
again,
is
there's
with the
another
neo?
movie.
So what is with the neo noir aspect in the first place? There's no
No,
need
that's
for it.
the point. That's the problem. As again, it does this bullshit setup of trying to piss you off in that way now. Because again, there's another movie that did something like that. That part with the stabbing, all of that, and psyching yourself up for all of that. Another movie did that as well and did it better. Thoroughbreds.
Yeah, it
Right?
did,
Yeah.
but it
Right.
didn't lose what it was essentially about. It
Right.
was kind of a coming of age teen drama, but it had
Right.
that psychological thriller thing that was going on
Right.
that was set up from the very
And
beginning.
that the problem with what killed this whole thing is that because he do this, they put in too many dumb plot elements. Now if they did this thing like what they did with Lego Movie, where it was in his imagination, it's not an actual simulation with a conscious entity in the computer, it could have kind of maybe worked, maybe, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's what they do with the Lego Movie, where it's really a proxy for the child's mind, and you needed a better writer. Again, a good writer could have made this work, But the way how they do this, boy, is a complete fuck you. I hate this movie. Absolutely
yeah.
hate this.
All right.
Everything is wrong.
So
Everything
closing
that you
thoughts
hate
on this, right?
about.
Right. So a few things I'll say before we wrap up, right? Acting. Everybody do what they're supposed to do. I mean, even right down to Jason Clarke, whose character I generally hated, I guess, as a point, but I felt so sorry for him played a character that you're supposed to hate, but it's because he's so one-dimensional, you have no choice but to hate him. There's no, complexity to him. Even Frank Booth, as detestable as he was in Blue Velvet, there was something that was going on, something really twisted, but you had to see the show to understand what I'm talking about. But anyway, um, but McConaughey do what we supposed to do, and Hathaway do what she's supposed to do. But I felt so sorry for them. There's a couple of moments, like camera moments. Well, it looks like it was done in post production, where the camera will do like this 180, and they do it on both and when she comes in for the first time and Machi before before he goes and takes a shower. It's just this dumb moment of him stripping down naked and then jumping off this cliff front into the water. But it's a shot like literally where the camera will kind of like do this 180 around him there, and it looked so laughable, so bad.
Yeah.
It took me out of the
No,
show.
but again, that is covering up bad filmmaking with a premise. Because
Yeah.
the reasons like that because it's a game and because
It's a
video
game
game.
now. So yeah,
Right.
literally, if you hold the mouse and you turn it, you get that
Right.
like the camera spin
Yeah.
around. But it looks so
And it's a
bad.
kind of it's a kind of critique on you can say it's a kind of critique on video games having Hollywood envy. Again, the one part I don't like about it because it comes across as a kind of insult to gaming generation with filmmaking. You ain't really sure, but it's like the worst of both worlds. Because I'll admit, a lot of games have movie envy, right? There's always try to be a movie, they want to do this big epic scape. But when you actually boil it down, most games that are great, even the great games, don't really have those emotional. It's still a B movie kind of thing, right? Unless it's something like Last of Us, which is genuinely brilliant in my opinion. But
Right.
stuff that I like Resident Evil 4, is a B movie. But that's the point. And you
Now-
play on. This tries to invert that in the worst way.
Right. Now, as I say, B movie. Well, noir films are essentially B movies, right? Even the
Right.
great ones like Double Indemnity, Maltese Falcon, they do have those B movie elements. So right down to the dialogue, which is, emulated the show here. You have the kind of schlocky, kind of, sleazy kind of dialogue here or there, but that's part of the genre. And I was liking that.
Right.
But then when that twist dropped once again, it just made no sense. And it wasn't like it could have just took things in this clever, more, thought-provoking way. It's just, we going along with the plan as scheduled, But just remember, this is a game. So there's nothing really at stake. It's just, guy has to get killed, and that's it, really. That's the end of the film. I know it ends in this kind of somewhat happy way because, the deed is done and the evil guy is dead, and, fuck this movie.
Every trope it's just a bad soup of every trope that you hate in film, and then they just excuses it by saying, it's a game. So that because all games tend to have bad tropes,
Yes,
That's what it was
yes.
going for, but yeah, it's total nonsense.
Yeah, but
Hated
even
it.
but still, come with a much like if that was the intention with the show, come better with it. Come with a better story. Come with better characters. Come with I don't want to say I guess a better twist, but at least yes, a better twist one. Regardless of where you want to bring it in, and yes, bring it up at a certain time where at the right time, not somewhere in the middle where, the story was already dragging and going nowhere, and you're wondering when anything gonna happen, and you just drop this thing and expect us to care from that point. No, not really. So, rating time. While I was going to give this thing 1.5, which is that shit Cree, which is basically um a rating that will give a movie that, yeah, it's so bad it's good. You watch it, you have fun, you watch it with your friends, you laugh at it. And yes, there's tons of unintentionally bad
I think,
things. Sorry,
I
unintentionally
think so.
hilarious things about this show, but because of the cast, because of the people on screen, by I don't know, but I just can't help but watch this and just really feel disappointed and
I think
angry at the same time, Joe.
I think because I have so little patience for what we call nana films now. Like
Uh-huh.
that shit
Yeah.
was fun 10 years ago. It was cute 10 years ago, but now it's like, well, why all it exists? Like go away now. Now.
Yeah.
I think that's
Agreed.
a big part of it was that. It's like when I was watching it, I was like, wait, boy, you actually make this journey. It's actually cost money, and how many good films could have come out from this now? And I
Yep.
think that's why I have zero patience for this nonsense now. Like
Yeah.
this, just a waste of my fucking time, Jared. Wow.
It is. It is. I sorry, like, yes, if you did see it and you find it's like just this laughably bad time, you could watch it, get drunk to it. Cool, that's fine, but once again, by just off that story alone, it was just too dumb for me to even
Yeah.
look at this as a guilty pleasure, boy. So yeah, just get 1 out of 5, boy. Of course it sucked. Even
This
bother
is
with
this is
this, we even wasted time with this.
Yeah. Like for me, if I given it a rating, yeah, go see it in Capsco. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
go see it in Capsco. Go see it in Palladium is nonsense. Total
It
waste of my
is.
time. Like,
It is.
I want some edgelord jackass out there go try to like defend the movie and so on. So because the movie really like designs itself for that. Like it's a total arm and white defense movie. That kind of nonsense.
Right.
And I mean, this movie tailor made to piss people like me off. Where people who want to have a good discussion, want to make the art go forward and in a different interesting direction. You have these people who just effectively, in my opinion, cultural vandals just coming into
Right.
the system. That's how it's come across to me. Whatever. Moving on.
Yeah.
Next.
Last things last I had to say, in terms of the whole so bad it's good status that this movie gained, yes, because it have, unintentionally hilarious stuff in it. More particularly involving Matthew McConaughey, you know, his no, him screaming out in
Yeah.
the sky, just, this is stuff a legend right now. But I don't know. I really don't see this film having any longevity at all. Like, it's not The Room bad, you know what I mean? Where everything that was put into it just didn't work at all. You could tell
Right.
that there was effort put at the very start, but it's just somebody and the ego come and say, "Hey, I have the perfect twist, and this is gonna blow people's minds," and just this epic failure. So once again, I
Yeah.
can't watch this with just I can't watch this scene, you know what I mean? And find it like so bad it's good. It's just a bad movie. Take that however you want to. It's just a bad movie. And I really feel sorry for everybody who was involved in this. But yeah, boy,
Yeah.
this was just terrible. And no way I could see this thing having any cult status in the next few years or so. Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Again, film fans is always do some bullshit to try to, try to be, edgy. Again, you have people who just being rebellious and belligerent who'll probably defend this film, maybe.
Yeah.